What's good, y'all? It's your boy Mixtape Moth. If you are rocking with this content, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. But today, I'm going to hit y'all with my thoughts on this new project from Conway The Machine entitled Won't He Do It? This is the follow-up to Conway The Machine's God Don't Make Mistakes, which was his most commercially ambitious release to date. Now, it had some high highs and emotionally compelling tracks for sure, but it wasn't in my top 10 of the year. Just a few months back, Conway and Jae Skeese had dropped a collab EP entitled Pain Provided Profit that I thought was dope and had me looking forward to upcoming Drumwork releases. But getting right into Won't He Do It? It contains 14 songs lasting approximately 49 minutes. It's got features from Westside Gunn, Benny, Love the Genius, Jae Skeese, Ransom, Walka, Juicy J, Goose by the Way, Jazzy, Davies, and Fabolous. But with that being said, let me go ahead and just hit y'all with this track by track breakdown. The opener, Quarters, has this crunchy, textured, and warm instrumental from Khrysis. Now, Conway and Khrysis haven't missed yet. It's one verse from Conway, but I was impressed by his rhyme schemes. He's shown us why he's one of the illest with the flows and wordplay. Conway raps, machine, bitch, I'm a threat in the game. Tape I did with the Alchemist, I was just testing my aim. Then big ghost shits was warning shots, and I had a lot more to drop. I was just waiting for the tour to stop. Started with an 8-ball, pushed it up to a quarter block. So as a whole, it was a strong opening track that I wish had 2 verses. Track 2, Brucifix, is a highlight that day one Griselda head should love. It's hauling Nash over an obscure Italian loop from Derringer. Conway does his thing on the verse, but I would say Westside Gunn's energy was really on point. I liked his lines. Prince Marky D on the stove wearing raccoons. You just got it. I wore this shit Fashion Week last June. Track 3, Monogram, which is named after Jay-Z's weed line, has this classy vintage drumless loop from Derringer that's elegant and regal. So when I initially heard the production, I wasn't in love with it, to keep it a buck, but it has grown on me with repeated listens, and Conway is giving his props to Hove, talking about his sit downs and personal conversations with Jay and how those interactions inspired him to get an even bigger bag. The hook, I just want to sell cocaine forever, is catchy, but I think it could have been even better had it been delivered by Stove God. I just hear Stove's voice over this production. Track 4, Stab Out with Ransom, has a punchy J.R. Swift's production that's as Griselda sounding as you're gonna get. I thought Conway had a cool verse, the hook being the strongest, but it was Ransom who was the clear MVP of this track. I mean, the man really bodied this gritty instrumental. Ransom said, "We swinging hammers as hard as Thor. My shooter will spin your block like revolving doors. Involved the lore. I send some carnivores from out of Baltimore. Furthermore, I see that as art and horrors that your heart adores, but we ain't into arts and crafts. We craft in the art of war." Track 5, Flesh of My Flesh, contains the most experimental production on the project by far. Derringer supplies a rock sample that's atmospheric. Initially, I didn't care for the beat, but it's now stuck in my head. But I think it was Conway's performance that made me like it even more, as he was really gliding over this beat, making it sound effortless. The double time flow and bars were stellar indeed. Following this is Kanye, where we get a gospel-inspired beat from the Justice League and a hook from Goose by the Way, one of Conway's Drumwork artists. It's just one short verse from The Machine talking about his interactions with Kanye. Machine states, "Has some conversations with Kanye I'ma keep to myself." Yeah, that's probably a smart move, Machine. So I feel this track had potential, but it was slightly underwhelming to me. While I liked the production, the song still felt a bit underdeveloped, and I didn't care for it as much as I probably should have. I mean, is there anyone out there that loved it? Right after is The Chosen with Jae Skeese. Now this is a bright, bold brass banger. produced by Justice League. I really dug the triumphant horns. It's gonna motivate you no matter what mood you're in. I enjoyed the back and forth between Conway and Jae Skeese. I really loved their chemistry so far. Yeah, The Chosen is most definitely one of the standouts on the album. Track 8, Water to Wine with Dave East, Jawzy, and Goose by the Way, unfortunately is a trash song. The hook from Goose by the Way is atrocious. I suppose the verses from Machine and Dave East weren't bad, but this has got to be one of Conway's worst songs to date. Like, I'm not even approaching this song with the mindset of some old head or just some staunch boom bapper who only wants Conway to rap over gritty boom bap. No, that is not the case. It's just that the song isn't good and the hook is super trash. Trust me, I like wavy records, but this one wasn't it. Track 9, Kill Judas, is just a skit with a suspenseful Derringer instrumental. It leads us right into Brick Fair, which has an unmistakable Derringer sound from the hypnotic bells to its blooded mid-tempo feel. It's one that Griselda purists should like. It's a mellow, hustling anthem where Conway talks about young shooters and hustlers getting jammed up at the young age of 17 and not coming home until they're 35. Track 11 is another highlight. Brooklyn Chop House with Benny the Butcher and Fab. And now it's backed by some glorious strings, courtesy of Derringer. It's a drumless symphonic loop. Conway had the best verse, while Benny came in second, and unfortunately Fab was the weakest one. Conway states it's getting spookier, and I ain't sure if I coined the phrase, but ever since I said it, you just look at how much noise it make. I think Conway's onto something. I also liked Used to Be at the Table backing up to the College Dropout. These dudes moving their release dates back when I pop out. Benny closed it out with a strong verse and it had some quotables like, she gotta see me in the kitchen before she get to know me better. I'm judging our relationship off how many bricks we sold together. Track 12, Tween Cross. Tween has an icy but mesmerizing beat from Grey Matter. I just love Conway's flow and rhyme schemes. He talks about not accepting a record label offer unless they can give him 30 mil. And that's how you bet on yourself. As a whole, I thought it was a dope track with the Machine getting silly with the bars, and I mean literally silly towards the end of the second verse. The second to last track is Won't He Do It with Love the Genius. Now the production from Cosmo and G Coupe is polished and glossy, making it one of Conway's most commercial beats that he has rapped on, and he sounded right at home. I mean, this beat was giving heavy Drake vibe. Con and Love the Genius are toasting to their successes and proving their haters and doubters wrong. Conway shined the spotlight on Love the Genius for this record, and she poured her heart out on her verse. And you can just feel the emotion, passion, and hunger that these two artists possess, and you can't help but get some motivation from their stories. And the project wraps up on a celebratory note with Super Bowl. Now, this has a soulful trap beat from the legendary Juicy J and a strong verse from Sauce Walka, who really kills it. It's a straight up banger to get you hyped, you know, something to pull up in and crack the pavement. I'm sure there are going to be some Griselda heads who dislike this track or have it as their least favorite of the project because it's a trap record, but ended up being one of my favorites, as I personally am a big fan of Houston and Memphis rap, and Conway does flow so agile over trap production, and it's just a great combination for me. So overall, I give this project a rating of 3.5 to 4 mics. It's a continuation of Conway continuing to experiment with new production styles, while not veering too much from his tried and true formula. He's sticking to the script without boxing himself into just one particular sound or aesthetic. I found there to be enough balance instrumentally, which I liked, as I felt God Don't Make Mistakes came across as a little too dark and dismal as a whole. That being said, I really disliked the track Water to Wine on here, and I wasn't too crazy about the Kanye record, even though the Kanye record wasn't terrible. Yeah, this project is not on the level of From King to a God, but it has some records that will likely have high replay value for me. So I'd say it's more so on par with a project like La Machina, but possibly a little better. My favorite tracks include Quarters, Brucifix, Stab Out, Flesh of My Flesh, The Chosen, Brick Fair, Brooklyn Chop House, Tween, Cross Tween, and Super Bowl. Let me know what you thought about this project in the comment section. Please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. As always, is peace and blessings. Conway the Machine, won't he do it? One.